This is LP Giobbi.
Listen up, children.
You are listening to Femme House Radio.
I said listen up, children.
On Diplo's Revolution, Sirius XM.
A wonderful night is made as much by the dancers as the music. Guided as much by the spirit of joy in the room as by the hand which reaches for the next record. Each of us has a role in tonight's experience. We all play in the band.
This is LP Giobbi, and I founded Femme House, a 501c3 foundation and educational platform that teaches the technical areas of music making for women, non-binary, trans, and other marginalized gender identities. Every week, I will be interviewing and spotlighting women in music while bringing you the best dance tunes from around the world.
You are with LP Giobbi, and our next guest on Femme House Radio is the one and only Arielle Free. This firecracker of energy and joy behind the decks and everywhere she goes is also the daytime face of Radio 1 Dance. She has performed at Printworks, Creamfields, Parklife, Glastonbury, and alongside the likes of Camel Fat, Kolsch, Annie Mac, and Danny Howard, to name just a few. And I have even had the honor of playing with her at a Defected Shindig just last year. From radio DJ to club DJ to producer to label owner, this woman is a powerhouse. Arielle, it's so good to chat with you again.
That was a nice intro, but also I have to say my favorite thing is hearing someone with an American accent say Glastonbury. Because you all say Glastonbury, and like it's amazing. And here's
everything
a fun fact
we say sounds worse.
No, I love it because like it's when like Beyonce headline, she's like Glastonbury, and we're like, yeah, let's go. I was conceived at Glastonbury. I was conceived there.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, to Billy Idol. So, and the reason we know this is true, so my brother was born on April the 19th, and then my mum and my dad had, like, a couple of months later, were like, they really want to go to Glastonbury, so grandparents looked after my brother. They had a weekend off, and it poured with rain in true Glastonbury style. Poured with rain the whole weekend, so everyone just stayed in their tents, and I turned up 9 months later.
That is of course you come from that place. Of course that makes perfect sense. So tell us your origin story. How did you get into radio hosting and DJing?
Well, we're really lucky here in the UK that we have Radio 1. Radio 1 for me is like it's just, and I think it's globally recognised as a station. Yep. Oh, yeah. That really just, like, it produces excellent radio and curation, and you trust in the broadcaster who is, like, taking you down that path. I think that's what's always been so magical about it. So when I was growing up in Glasgow, in Scotland, it was like my best friend. It was in the car when I got in the car with my parents. It was, it was on when I was revising for my exams. It was, like, it was there with me when I moved to London and became, like, a proper indie kid. And also it was the host, like for me, I'd never heard anything like Annie Mac on radio before, and also just her pure passion music. Zane Lowe, don't even get me started in him. Like I wanted to be in a room with him. And we had like Farron Cotton, Zoe Ball, Joe Wiley, all of these amazing female broadcasters that I was just like, I would just love to. So the kind of weird thing about it is I always wanted to be in music. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to sing. I can't sing.
False. I've been in the studio with you. You can definitely sing.
I cannot sing. I've got a real husk of a voice that's just like, it's nice when you talk. But
lean into that.
I'm just going to do like, what is it? The ones where they whisper? ASMR, AMSR. What's it called?
You have a real voice. I refuse to accept this.
What is that one?
As I know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
AMSR? Something
yes,
like that. Yes, yeah. I'll do that. Maybe on OnlyFans or something. I can if it all goes wrong, I'll do that on OnlyFans. And then
this
also
has gone off the rails. We're talking about OnlyFans. Okay, go ahead.
And then so I always wanted to be able to play an instrument, but I picked up guitar and I couldn't do it. And then weirdly, it turned out I was kind of good at dancing. So I went to like Saturday ballet classes, and that's how I got down to London, because I was training as a dancer, and then I got into school to kind of further my training in London. So I think that's where music, it was my way of getting into music, because I couldn't sing and I couldn't play an instrument. And then I was really lucky when I was in London that I was like, well, I've always wanted to talk about music. So any conversation you would ever have with me was just about music. And my friend was saying, you could give me any artist name and I'd have content. And like, radio is really your jam. So when I was dancing, I kept wanting to live this dream, and then I managed to do lots of things on YouTube and go to festivals and interview bands, and I was doing community radio stations. And then my first ever audition for Radio 1 was in 2011. And I had no radio technique at all. Like, I was awful. They were like, because you get put in a room, you have to know how to run the desk. And I didn't really know. And they were just like, put the mic up. And they're like, okay, go. And I was like, so then I just talked about how much I loved the Maccabees for 7 minutes. Have you heard of a band called the Maccabees? Oh, I love them. They're like, they're amazing, like British indie band. They're like, in the year kind of like 2000, all that. They're like, there was it's like the Arctic Monkeys movement.
Cool.
And then they're like, yeah, not quite there yet. And so then I kind of went away, would do free radio for like years and years and years, and then the next opportunity came in like 2013, wasn't quite right. 2015 I had another opportunity. It was a huge window where they were getting lots of new talent in. I went in every weekend for like months and months on end, and it didn't happen again. And I was like, okay, well, I think I maybe have to give up on that dream now. But I just was like, I didn't have another option. I just wanted to, like, that's all I wanted to do. And then in 2015 I got an amazing opportunity to host the Ministry of Sound Drive Time show, and at that point I just started DJing, but I'd like picked up decks in like 2015, but I was playing like indie music and new rave music, and I couldn't really mix properly. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be the Drive Time host of a global dance band, I need to properly learn how to DJ. And I was really lucky when I was there that's where I properly learned. They had so many incredible DJs in that building, and then from there I got invited back into Radio 1 like 2017 to audition again, and then between that I was at various radio stations, and then finally started covering in 2018, my first show in 2019, which is Weekend Early Breakfast, and now I'm the host of Midweek Early Breakfast in Radio 1.
I love it that you stuck, like you just did it. You kept doing it. You kept coming back. You kept auditioning. You kept, like, your perseverance in that is so, that's my favorite part of this whole story, is that, you know, some people think like people have started asking me like, oh, you just came out of nowhere, and it's like, no, actually I've been grinding for 10 years.
Yeah, you were doing, like, I know we had this conversation, like the music that you were making before, and this is my thing about people and talking about ages, because I feel like there's all this pressure to like achieve everything by 21 or 24, and I'm like, actually we all have our own path, and like what I'm doing now, if I was doing that at 23, I'd be a horrible human being.
I think about this all the time. The music that I would have made then is just not really ultimately where I'm settling as a human. And I'm so grateful I had to go through all the others. Totally. Our paths are like, we are where we're supposed to be.
There's no right
cheesy,
path.
But yes, I'm so here for this. Because I know that we've talked about this, but like, so what exactly is your schedule? You literally have to get up at 3 a.m. What time are you going to bed? Like, how are you doing that and DJing?
So weirdly, yeah.
Like, I go to bed at 3.
No, I know, and that's the thing. I almost have to flip. So I only do Monday to Thursday on the radio, and so I'm done by about like 8:30 on a Thursday morning. So I do a lot of pre-recs, and we do like the dance shows and things like that. So then by 8 o'clock on a Thursday morning until like Sunday night, I'm that's my kind of DJ slots. That's when I can DJ. So usually what I try and do is do the gigs, and then by Sunday I can't do gigs on a Sunday night. I tried that before, but that would mean then having to go straight into my radio show, and I did that once, and I just can't function. I can't string a sentence together. Like, my brain just stops being able to connect words.
That makes total fucking sense.
But you know what? Like, I don't know. When I used to do Weekend Early Breakfast, so I used to do the same schedule, but on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was just like nocturnal. So I would do the DJ gigs, come in, do the radio show, and then sleep in the day. But I didn't really ever sleep. My average sleep then was 2 hours 45 minutes, which is not healthy. So when lockdown happened, my body just kind of like stopped and was like, what have you been doing? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, your health is... But weirdly, I was never ill. I just like kept going and going and going and going and going. And even when I stopped, I wasn't ill. But then since lockdown, like, the whole schedule's like kind of gone mental again. And I find myself like in December the 10th, I could put money on it. December the 10th, I suddenly just get really ill, but not like it's a big old flu. The year before it was COVID, and I just like, my body just goes, no, like a week, stop. And then I stop, and then suddenly, like, it's Christmas and everything kind of calms out. In January here in the UK, we just don't have gigs. Like, gigging season's done, so it's really funny because like watching you were like doing Groove Cruise and like Mexico and everything. We don't have that, so it was like, it's really nice in January, February, September, when I can actually sit and make music and not be disturbed. Whereas, like, I find it really hard to fit that in alongside doing radio show and DJ gigs.
When you're, no kidding. So after you finish your radio show at 7, what time? It's 7 o'clock it's done? So then what does the rest of your day look like? Is that are you prepping for the next show? Or are you, like, trying to make music in that time? Like, what is that?
Well, so basically, I have like, it's really uncool, my schedule. So I'll get up, we'll do the show. generally I'll get into the studio a bit early so me and my producer Liam can like go through like kind of content and what we want to talk about and like the features that we have. We've already planned our tracks the week ahead, so we have that meeting on the Thursday, Friday, or the Tuesday before sometimes is when we actually start planning for the following week, because we know what releases are coming out on the Friday. And then I'll finish at 7 if I have to do pre-records. I'll be there to 7:38. Then I go to these really hardcore gym classes, because if I don't do that, my energy saps. So I do like, do you have Barry's in the UK?
Oh yeah, girl. Wait,
yeah.
What? You go
so
to,
I'm like number one Barry's
fan. What time are you
fan.
going at this? What time is the class?
That'll be like 8 o'clock in the morning. So then like,
oh my god, and you've already worked. This is amazing.
So
Okay.
8 until 9. So no, but you know what? See, there's shout out to Jason, my favorite Barry's instructor, because he is like a DJ and he plays this gnarly techno that like gets you through, and you're like on the treadmill like like literally going, and he's like, come on, do a mile in 7 minutes, and you're like, yes, Jason. So I do that.
Shout out Jason. Yes.
Shout out Jason. I sweat my bits off. So then I feel like great. So I've worn myself out. I'll get back and then I'll generally have like an hour in emails, or I'll have a disco nap. And then I start my day at 10 a.m. And then it's like either studio time or like more like kind of radio stuff. So I do other stuff outside the BBC Radio 1 anyway. Like, so I'm doing stuff for BBC Scotland, which is like new music focus show, or I'm presenting like TV show and like music stuff. So fit the filming and recording of all that in the day alongside studio sessions. And then try and aim to be in bed for like 8 p.m. But it never is that. So it'll be about 9 or 10. Try having a relationship as well in that schedule.
Wait, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Wait, okay, I'm sorry. Babe, that's still not enough time. That's still not enough hours of sleep.
No, but then often I find I'll sleep in on a Friday morning. So I'll get like an average of like 4.5, 5 hours sleep in the week. Sometimes I'm lucky to get like 5.5. If I get 5.5 hours, that's nice. Like I can work on 5. I don't feel tired in 5.5 hours. I feel tired in 4.
What?
And then, but Friday, if I've got a gig the Thursday nights, if I gig on Thursday nights, I have to really be like, you know. And then, but then I'll always lie in to like 9 a.m, maybe 10 a.m on a Friday morning. And then the weekend, then it's fine.
This is fucking wild. If I get like,
what do you do then? You work because you can't say anything. You're the busiest woman I know. We've been trying to like do
like 18, 19 hours for sure a day, but like just like having to, and I try to wake up at 7 every morning to like start, and then I'm usually working until like 2, which is good for my DJ schedule because like that's usually, you know, I'm usually playing in the club until 2 on the weekend, so it's like that's kind of like the normal. But I need like at least 7 hours, and also I find that if I don't. Saturday is the only day that I can like actually make music undisturbed earlier in the day because no emails are flying in. I don't have like you know, things I have to do. It's just like so I kind of like the only day I can sleep in usually is like a Sunday, but then I had, if I haven't slept for at least 7 hours like the 5 days before, I'll sleep for like 10 on Sunday. Like how do you operate off of 5?
No, but I'll have those days where like yourself, I will sleep for like 10 hours. But what is good now, I used to be such a bad sleeper. And then lockdown happened and I suddenly became a really good sleeper. Like I can go into deep sleep like that. Weirdly this year, I've kind of gone back to my previous, like, I've like, it just seems to be this week. I kind of said it on Twitter recently. I was like, I'm really struggling getting back, but we had a bit of time off over Christmas on Radio 1. And naturally, I went back into my natural sleeping cycle, which is going to bed at 2. Like, I will go to bed at 1
that's your natural cycle?
Yeah, I was always a nighttime person. I worked really well at night. So I've had to like flip it around but then Christmas I went back into that schedule. Yeah. So the beginning of the year, January, I've really struggled to get back into like being in bed by 8 p.m. or like, but now I'm getting better. 8
p.m. Jeez. Okay, I have a really nerdy question also.
Okay.
And I love to ask DJs this. Mm-hmm. What is your crate digging and music organizing process? Like do you tag tracks? Do you have crates? Like how do you organize your music? And also, how do you organize your music and where do you go to crate dig?
So I'm a digital bunny. Like I have vinyl and I have piles of vinyl, but I'm a digital bunny. So like I dive into like BandCamp, and so have you ever done BandCamp Fridays?
Okay, people keep saying BandCamp. How do you discover music on BandCamp though? So
BandCamp did this thing, and when we started in lockdown, it's amazing, and it's called BandCamp Fridays, and it's their way where they're
80s?
completely they call it BandCamp Fridays, and it's a way of like they don't charge any royalties, or they don't take a percentage of their sales of anyone's tracks. And what they do is they get loads of people to like write a list of the tracks that they're listening to, or they would recommend. Like yourself, or you probably be approached and be like, okay, what ones you would, and then from that you kind of just end. It's like a YouTube hole, it's a BandCamp hole. But also, like, I'm really lucky because I'm in radio. I get sent probably about 100 to 200 promos a week, if that. If not, like, so I had a break over Christmas and I came back and I had 865 promos to get through.
Fucking God.
A lot of them were duplicates and people like management who send me it, as well as like the in-flight distribution and then
right.
you know, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But once you've kind of gone through that, but I did this day where I sat down for 7 hours, and even by the end of the day I'd only got from 869 down to 865 because that day I'd had so many come in. And because January was like a new music month here in the UK for us, like lots of people wait to Jan to release because all the bigger names are having a break after Christmas. So it's a really great like opportunity for people to break through, like, you know, kind of like get their name out there a bit more. So, but no, I'm a real digital buddy. I mean, I do go vinyl shopping, but for random things. So like I bought this like rumba album because I really loved this flute that was being played in this song, and I mean, it's so Anchorman, but I was like, I want to use this flute in like a track. And so I was like, I got this like really geeky like, yeah. So, but I'm definitely digital.
Wait, sorry. What is the BandCamp thing called? I think it's your.
So they do BandCamp Fridays. So one Friday a month. It's usually the last Friday of the month. It's just called. It's just BandCamp
for Fridays.
But it's just BandCamp, and on a Friday they call it BandCamp Fridays because on Fridays it's royalty free. So if you're an artist and you sell your track that day, you don't have to pay anyone anything. All the money's yours.
But like, so
well,
like, you go to like bandcamp.com and then what? Like, is there like
no? You just there on a Friday. You go on a Friday. It's a certain Friday of the month that they do it. Well, maybe they don't do it monthly anymore. They might just do it. But just BandCamp in general, when you click on something, I just end up going into other DJs that are following them. Like, you played a track in your D for Dance set that I found on BandCamp Fridays, which was the Emerald.
The Paddy Chambers?
Paddy Chambers.
Yeah.
I found that track on BandCamp Fridays and I was like, this is sick. But I'd never known how to play it in a set.
How did you find it on, how did you get there?
I think I was just going through other tracks and then downloading, because when
maybe like start with like a track you like and then just like follow the one.
Or an artist you like. So like I love Club Bad, which is Melee's record label.
Club Bad, okay.
And he has like loads of like amazing releases on there, and so then you go in, and then I would go in there and I'd look at the DJ that's just so. There's a DJ that released on there recently that had a track, an EP called Kaleidoscope. So it's meant to be like Kaleidoscope, but Kaleidoscope.
Oh, I
like that. So then I went onto his page and then went through all of his tracks, and then from there I've seen his collaborations. So I'm a proper, and the problem is I'm a hoarder. Like, I will download loads and loads and loads and loads of music, and then suddenly I'm like, oh, what am I going to play in my sets? Because I've just got like hundreds of like music.
This is the main question. Mm-hmm. How do you organize your music?
So I'm going to get up my like playlist names. Okay,
love this.
I'm so annoying because I have to make, so even I've got my Femme House playlist at the moment because that's for the mix that I'm going to do for your show.
Oh, yes.
So but then I will have an idea of like that, okay, I know what I wanted to play for your mix. I want to have it like female focused, but also I want it really uplifting and maybe piano led. So I know what tracks I'd find in there. And then I have like ones from when I played Creamfields and Elro. And then I've got End of the Night. I've got one that's just like epic. I've got one that's called Fun, so it's Fuuuuun. So that I know is that if I just need to like everyone to have a smile on their face, I'll dive into that. Do you know what I mean?
This is amazing. Okay, so your dream lineup, if you were to put the perfect lineup together that you would want to play on, what other artists are playing on that bill? I know this is a hard question, but I'm sure you can do it.
Daft Punk, Annie Mac, Eats Everything, You. No, it has to be
you and I have to. Can we please also do a B2B in this lineup, because that needs to happen?
Oh my god, yeah. Like, I was talking about this to someone the other day, and they were like, I don't think people could handle that. And they're like,
honestly,
your hair would get tangled because it'd be that wild. And I was like, yeah, I kind of know what you mean. So yeah, and then who, like, oh my gosh, so there's so many to choose from. Like, Daft Punk are like my number one because I just don't understand how their brains work. But I'd also, who would I want? I love the Martinez brothers. I love Guetta, you know? Like, Guetta is laughing at us all. He is laughing at us all. He is like, I'm going to make this tune and it's going to be... But so I did this test the other day. He has more listeners on Spotify than Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Usher. Yeah. So we did this testing the other day and I was just like, he has something like 57 million monthly listeners. That is... And people like, sometimes people here in the UK are like, oh, Guetta. And I'm like, Guetta is one of the most successful producers out there in the entire world. And also this new future wave stuff he's doing is incredible.
And
so
also
I'm
that
just like,
party that he threw with his ex-wife, but like wife at the time, didn't he throw some like remarkable party like in Ibiza or something? That's like
he's
world
the only
famous, like very cool tastemakery party, you know?
Well, I don't know about that, but he's the only artist who can sell out 2 nights a week in Ibiza. He has 2 different events. He has his Friday night at High, and then he has his other one.
Does he play different kinds of like musical styles? Or
yeah,
what?
so the Friday night is... We can't swear in this, can we? Can we swear? No.
You can swear. Yeah, you can actually swear. It's serious.
Oh, it's his Fuck Me I'm Famous night. It was called FMIIF. So that's his long-standing night. And
yeah,
then
that's been going on forever. And I think he started that with his ex-partner, I thought.
Yeah, but then so that's the big one on Friday night. Sells out every week, and then there's another second day that he does. I think it might. I don't know if it's a Schweier during the day, or there's another one. But he's the only artist that can sell 2 nights a week in Ibiza, and Ibiza season runs from like the end of April now until the end of the beginning of October.
You and I have to go there together. We just
well, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of opportunity. We're gonna be together out there.
I do too. Okay, well, thank you so much for being a guest on Femme House Radio. I've been obsessed with you, and then I got to meet you in person. I'm really obsessed with you. So thank you so much for being a guest. It's a true honor to have you on Femme House.
I love you, LP. I think you're one of the most amazing human beings.
This is LP Giobbi.
Listen up, children.
You are listening to Femme House Radio.
I said listen up, children.
On Diplo's Revolution, Sirius XM.
A wonderful night is made as much by the dancers as the music. Guided as much by the spirit of joy in the room as by the hand which reaches for the next record. Each of us has a role in tonight's experience. We all play in the band. I said, we all play in the band.
This is LP Giobbi, and I founded Femme House, a 501c3 foundation and educational platform that teaches the technical areas of music making for women, non-binary, trans, and other marginalized gender identities. Every week, I will be interviewing and spotlighting women in music while bringing you the best dance tunes from around the world.